Hi, welcome to my channel. My name is Caroline and this video is a practice for the ovulation phase of the menstrual cycle. So during this phase we tend to have a lot more energy, we feel more sociable, more playful, even prone to taking more risks. We'll be doing more standing poses but with an emphasis on grounding. So any props that you need, go ahead and grab them. I'm using a bolster just for the final Shavasana. You don't need anything, but I always find it's really nice to prop something underneath my legs. So if you want to grab some pillows or cushions, you can do that. And we're going to get started in a seated position. So preferably with the legs crossed if that's comfortable for you. Just move any props that you have off to one side. Just find the sit bones rooted to the ground. And you can just rest the hands onto the knees, close down the eyes. And just start to breathe in and out through the nose. Don't try and change the breath in any way. Just taking a quick mental scan through your body, seeing if there's any areas you feel any tightness. Just checking in on your mood. I always like to start a practice with just a minute or so, checking in with myself. Lovely, and you can blink the eyes open. So we're just going to bring the hands out to the side of us. I'm going to allow the right ear to drop down towards the right shoulder. Just be very mindful that you're not reaching that shoulder up to meet the ear. Keep that space. So you should feel a nice stretch along the left side of the neck here. If you want to go a little bit deeper, you can bring that right hand and just rest it on the side of the head. So we're not using the hand to force a deeper stretch, we're just resting it, and the weight will just make it a deeper stretch. So taking some nice deep breaths. Imagine you're sending the breath right into this left side here. I'm going to turn the head as if you're looking towards your armpit, so you feel it more into the back of the neck as well. Release the hand to the ground, slowly moving the head back to a neutral position, and then dropping the left ear towards the left shoulder. Same thing. Just see how that feels for you, and then maybe you bring that left hand to rest on the head. The neck's an area that we often neglect. We don't really think about it that much, yet we hold so much tension there. Lovely. And then turn as if you're looking towards your armpit. So you're just noticing any areas where you feel tight. We're not trying to change it at all. Just noticing, and then we can be more mindful as we move through our practice. Release the hand down, lift the head back up. We're just going to nod the chin towards the chest and then make some little circles. They can be semicircles or full circle, just depending on how this feels for you. And then reverse those circles. Don't worry if you can hear a bit of crunching. Perfectly normal. And bringing the head back to neutral. I'm going to bring the hands on top of the shoulders now. If that's not very accessible for you, you can just rest the hands onto the collarbones. And then we're going to start to make some circles. So bringing the elbows forwards, see if they meet, doesn't matter if they do, and then circling. So again, you might hear little noises, some little crunches, perfectly normal. Just starting to warm up the body. And reverse those circles. Oh, very crunchy this direction. Lovely. And then bringing the hands back down by the sides. I'm going to keep that right hand down on the ground. Reach the left arm up. Really reach with the fingertips and lengthen through this left side of the body. Then we're going to take a side bend over towards the right. So you can really do what you want here. If you want to gently move in and out of the side bend, you can. Maybe you hold it still. Just be mindful that this left hip hasn't sort of crept up off the floor. Keep it rooted down. Otherwise, you're just going to lose the stretch. Lovely. Coming back up through centre. Take that right arm up, reach up and lengthen, and then take your side bend. Don't be surprised if one side feels totally different. I'm much more open on one side of my body than I am the other. And you'll get to know all the little imbalances in your body. And coming back up through centre, I'm just going to bring the left hand over towards the right knee, or maybe on the thigh, wherever's accessible. The right hand just goes behind and we'll gently twist towards the right. So there's really no need to be looking over your shoulder. We don't want to cause any tension to creep back into the neck. And we'll move to the other side. During ovulation, our poses can be much stronger. We can do more core work. But at the same time, we really need to keep a sense of grounding. As I said before, we can tend to feel a bit more frivolous. This will be the time of the month when you make those impulse purchases. I know I've definitely done it. And coming back to centre. So we're going to make our way to all fours now. So just mindfully making your way there. When you arrive, bringing the wrists underneath the shoulders, knees underneath the hips. And we're going to take a few cat-cows to warm up through the spine. But you can do whatever you like here, freestyle a little bit. So as you're ready, lift the tailbone, drop the belly, chest comes forwards. And maybe it feels good for you to bump the hips side to side here. As you exhale round. And you might want to move back and forth. You might take some circular movements. There's really no right or wrong, just trying to get as much movement as we can into the spine. And try and iron out some of those kinks along the way. Lovely. And then coming back to a neutral position, just like you to tuck your right toes under, slide the leg back behind you, and then just have a little rock back and forth, just stretching into the back of the leg. And then we're going to lift that leg up just to hip height. Try and keep your toes pointing down so the leg doesn't rotate out towards the side. If you feel quite balanced, you're going to take that left arm and reach it forwards. And then from here, we'll take a big inhale. And then as you exhale, bend the elbow, bend the knee, draw them towards each other underneath you. So we're really crunching in. Inhale, extend. Exhale, crunch. Inhale to lengthen out. Exhale, bring it in. We'll do 2 more. Last one. Inhale, lengthen, and then placing the hand and the knee back down. So if you didn't extend your arm forward, that's fine. You're just going to work with the leg there. We'll repeat this on the other side. So tucking the left toes under, slide the leg back. Just have a little rock back and forth and a stretch through the leg. If you do a lot of walking, this one's a really nice one for the calves. When you're ready, lifting the leg up just to hip height, toes remain pointing down, just so we avoid this opening out through the hip. Find your balance, and if you feel stable, send the right arm forwards. And it might feel different on this side, so don't worry if you need to place the hand back down. It's all good. As you're ready, we're going to inhale and exhale, squeezing the elbow and knee towards each other. They don't need to meet. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, crunch. 3 more. Inhale, lengthen. Last time. Exhale, crunch. Inhale, lengthen back out. And then place the hand and the knee back down. You can have a little wiggle about here. You might want to come off the wrist for a moment and give them a little bit of a circle, a bit of a shake out. Great. Coming back to all fours, just going to tuck the toes under and then lift the hips up and back. Find downward facing dog. And again, you can have a little pedal out here, bending and straightening each leg, have a little wiggle, maybe move the hips side to side. Just anything that you feel like you want to do. And then finding stillness. I'm going to inhale, raise the right leg up and back. And as you exhale, bend the knee, squeeze the knee in towards the chest and step it between the hands at the front of the mat into a runner's lunge. If that's not accessible for you, you can just lower to the knees and then bring that foot forwards. You might need to use your hands, and that's fine. And then you're going to pick that back knee up. So we'll all meet in a runner's lunge. And then from here, you're going to pivot that back heel down. We're coming up into warrior 2, but we're going to see if we can do it a little bit more gracefully than we usually would. So leading with that left arm, send it forwards, power up through the core. Start to lift the right arm up, rotate out to the side, warrior 2. Adjusting your stance with the feet if you need to. Sometimes we don't always quite land where it feels right. Gazing down that front hand. Really have a sense of grounding down through the feet. Your energy is all coming down towards the ground. Nice, powerful pose. Pressing down evenly through both feet. So really pressing into the outer edge of that back foot. And then dropping that left hand towards the left thigh. Right arm reaches up and back. Reverse warrior. Nothing changes in the legs. That front knee remains bent. Next inhale, come back up to warrior 2. I'm going to straighten the front leg, bump the hips towards the back of the mat, then reaching forward with that front arm, so really lengthen through the side of the body, and then coming over into triangle. And try and keep the chest nice and open towards the side. So if you brought your hand to the ground and you're rolling down, you just need to lift a little higher so you can find that openness. You don't need to gaze up to that top hand, just wherever feels nice for your neck. Next inhale, we're going to come back up. So I want you to turn the feet so that the heels are in, toes are out, going out on a diagonal. You're going to bring the hands onto the lower belly. Take an inhale, exhale, bend the knees, drop your weight. So imagine you're sliding your back down a wall. Try and keep the thighs actively pressing outwards, so not allowing the knees to roll in. And we're just going to move through a mini sequence. We'll do it 4 times without losing our balance. We'll take an inhale and exhale. Next inhale, interlace the hands. And as you exhale, you're going to turn the palms away, press the palms forwards. You can round through the spine if that feels okay. It might affect your balance, so just see for yourself. Next inhale, bring the arms up overhead. Legs stay bent. And as you exhale, going to straighten the legs, release the hands down, bringing them back onto the lower belly. Inhale. As you exhale, bend the knees. Sitting back into goddess. Inhale, interlace the hands, turn the palms away. Exhale, press the palms forwards, maybe rounding. Inhale, take the arms overhead. And then exhale, straighten the legs, hands come back onto the lower belly. Inhale. And exhale, bend the knees, drop your weight. Inhale, interlace the hands, turn the palms forwards. Exhale, press the palms away. Inhale, take the arms overhead. And exhale, straightening the legs, release the arms down, back onto the lower belly. Last time. Inhale, exhale to squat. Inhale, interlace the hands. Exhale, press the palms forwards. And inhale, take the arms overhead. Exhale, straighten the legs. Hands come back onto the lower belly. We'll just pause here for a moment. Just observing the breath. You can close your eyes if you feel comfortable too. Feeling a little bit wobbly today, so I'm going to keep mine open. Just allow the breath to settle and the energy to settle. All very strong poses. And then from here, I just want you to turn that back foot in a little bit. We're going to move towards the top of our mat and bend into the front knee, plant the palms either side of the foot. Just wiggle onto the back toes and step it back to down dog. So you can spend a couple of breaths here, or you could lower to the knees if you wanted. Wherever you are, find your down dog. And then we're going to inhale, send the left leg up and back. As you exhale, bend the knee, squeeze the knee in towards the chest, step it forward into your runner's lunge. So I'm just going to move to the other side of my mat so I'm not facing away from you. But you can stay exactly where you are. And then we're going to pivot that back heel down, coming up into warrior two. We're going to do this really gracefully. So send that right fingertips forwards, up and back as you lift that front arm. Adjusting your feet if you need to. Settle in. pressing down through both feet evenly. Gaze over that front arm. And just make sure that your body is sort of upright. We have this tendency to lean forward in this posture. Nice and strong through the legs, grounding through the feet. Then you drop the right hand towards the right thigh, left arm reaches up and back. Reverse warrior. Next inhale brings you back up to warrior two. And then we'll straighten that front leg, bump the hips towards the back of the mat, reaching forwards with that front arm. And cartwheeling the arms over into triangle. So again, just see where you need to place this hand on the leg. You might be on the ground. You might be much higher up than I am. Keeping the chest nice and open. Feel the stretch all the way up the right side of the body here. And your next inhale, lifting back up. We're going to turn the feet in. So the heels come in, toes go out, just like we did before. We're going to do the same little sequence. So bringing the hands onto the lower belly. Inhale. Exhale. Drop your weight, bend the knees. Inhale, interlace the hands. Exhale, press the palms away. Inhale, take those arms up overhead. And exhale, straighten the legs, release the hands back to the belly. So we'll do that 3 more times. You know what to do now. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale, press the hands away. Inhale, take the arms overhead. And exhale, release the hands, straighten the legs, hands back to the belly. Inhale. Exhale, lower. Inhale. Exhale, press the palms forwards. Maybe round. Inhale, take the arms up. And exhale, straighten the legs, release the hands. Inhale. Exhale, drop the weight. Inhale, interlace the hands. Exhale, press the palms away. Inhale as you take the hands up overhead. Exhale, release the hands down, straighten the legs. Resting the hands back onto the belly. Just allowing the breath to settle again. And then from here, we're just going to move the feet in a little bit closer, keeping the same stance, so the heels in, toes out. And we're going to lower down into Malasana, our yogi squat. So lowering your weight down in between the legs. You can bring the hands to the ground and just have a little rock side to side. Just really easing into the hips. And then finding some stillness. So don't worry if your feet don't come flat to the ground. It's okay to be up on your toes. Maybe grab a couple of cushions to sit onto. Just see how it feels for you. And then bringing the elbows to the inside of the legs, just gently pressing the palms together so we can keep those legs pressing out. Trying to keep the spine nice and long, so we're not rounding forwards. If you find that you're doing that, you might need a little bit of support, maybe underneath the heels or maybe underneath your seat. This pose really isn't for you and your knees are screaming at you. Just take a comfortable seat. We won't be here too long, just another couple of breaths. Lovely. And then we're going to take a seat. So taking the legs out wide, you want to keep the right leg out. You're going to bring the sole of the left foot towards the right inner thigh. And then you're going to bring the right hand onto the left knee, Left fingertips go behind. We're going to twist. Lovely. And then from here, I want you to take the left arm up and then keep that right hand on the left leg. You might need to adjust where it is on the leg. Side bend over towards the right. So we've got these like opposing forces. It's just a really nice deep side bend. And coming back up. Probably not got enough space here. I'm just going to turn slightly to the side so I've got space. You're going to bring that left hand behind you. And then we're going to lift the hips up and send that right arm back. So really press into that supporting leg. Lift and reach. Okay. And setting the hips back down. So as you come down, rotate your body towards the right leg. And then we're just going to walk the hands forward and fold towards that leg. Doesn't have to be a deep fold. You don't need to make your head reach your leg. Just until you can feel some sensation. No pain. Just a nice stretch. Lovely. Slowly walking the hands back towards you. We're just going to do the same little sequence on the other side. So extending the left leg out to the side. Right sole of the foot comes towards the inner thigh. Left hand comes towards the right knee. Right hand goes behind and we twist. And then from here we're going to send the right arm up and towards the left. Lifting back up, you're going to place that right hand behind you. I'm just turning because I don't have much space here. And then press into this supporting leg, lift the hips, send the left arm up and back. Lovely. Inserting the hips back down. You're going to rotate the body towards that left leg and slowly walk the hands forward and fold. Again, this is one of those poses. It's going to feel different on each side. So if you folded much further on the other side, don't feel like you need to on this side. We're not forcing the body. We always have one side that's much more open, and it tends to be the less dominant side of the body. So if you're right-handed, you find that the right side of your body is naturally a bit stronger and more contracted, less open. And then the left side of your body will be a lot more open because it's not quite as contracted and strong. And vice versa if you're left-handed. If you're ambidextrous, then anything goes, I guess. Slowly walking hands back up. And we're going to come down to take our Shavasana now. And you can take it any way that feels good for you. I always like to have some support under my knees. So if you've got some cushions, a bolster, some pillows, just placing them underneath the thighs and the knees to support you, lowering down onto your back. Have a last minute fidget so that you can find some comfort in stillness. You can rest the arms out to the sides, maybe rest the hands onto the body, closing down the eyes. And just allowing the breath to return to its natural rhythm. There's no more work left to be done. Just give your mind and your body full permission to relax now. If you have longer to spend here, I invite you to stay exactly where you are and come out whenever you're ready. If you're ready to come out now, then just start to bring back some small movements. So you can wiggle fingers and toes. Maybe take the arms overhead for a big stretch. If you had support under the legs, maybe gently roll that away with the feet. Then bend into the knees, just gently roll onto one side. And pause here for a few moments. You can use your hands to make your way back up to take a comfortable seat. Thank you so much for practicing with me today. I hope that helped. I hope you enjoyed it. Please don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel. Leave me a comment. Let me know how you got on. Namaste.